Elmer, how you doing, sir? How are you? If I missed anybody else, I apologize. I'll go back through. Also, while we're doing this, if you have questions or comments, and please put them on the screen. If I miss them, then what I'll do is I'll definitely go back through the video and I'll answer them individually. All right? Cool. All right. So, 7 things, excuse me, 6 things. I might as well say it's going to be 7 because I'm going to give you a bonus. But 6 things that you can do that will help you recover from divorce or from a really bad breakup. Listen, let me first tell you that this is probably one of the most emotional things that you will go through in terms of as an individual. Divorce and bad breakups tear at the fabric of every part of your life. So there's no part of your life that it does not affect. First of all, let me also say that I am not one of these preachers, pastors who will tell somebody that it's never okay to get a divorce. Now, I know that's not heretical. That's not non-biblical. I'm not absolutely crazy, but I do think that there are some good reasons to get a divorce. And I don't believe that it is the desire of God, or it should be the desire for ourselves to live in constant torment, to live in a literal hell trying to make something work that's just not going to work. So I'm not going to say that, but I do go into this discussion wanting you to understand and be very clear that there is no area of your life that is not affected by divorce and or bad breakups. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? And so I want you guys to know when you're going into this that it is absolutely okay if you are struggling in those areas, in any area. It is absolutely normal. It is absolutely necessary. And I would beg to say that if you go through this process the right way, that you can come out of this a better man, a better woman. And if you desire to, you can be a better husband or better wife in the future. So here we go. We're going to get into these 7 things. I said 6, but I'm going to give you a bonus. These 7 things that you need to do, that you need to consider in order to get through a divorce or a bad breakup the best way. Number 1 is you've got to realize that you have to take your time. There is no time limit that it takes to heal. And let me throw this out there to you. I don't care how long you've been divorced. There will always be some sort of remembrance of the divorce process. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll never get over it. It doesn't mean that you'll never be whole. It just means that with any type of deliverance, with any type of healing, the reminder that you've gone through this trauma, it will always sit in your mind. But if you take your time, if you go through this process slowly and gently, if you take a magnifying glass to every area of your life, it can be an easier process to get through because healing is something that takes time. If you if you cut your, even if you look at your body, the depth at which I'm tongue-tied, at which you cut yourself determines the amount of times that it takes to heal. So if you cut yourself really deeply, which is equivalent to what a divorce is, or if you believe, if you listen to Miles Monroe, and Rob said this last night, Miles Monroe says that divorce is like having a limb or an arm literally ripped off of your body and learning how to function. He then goes on to say that you have to learn how to then function without that joint again. So literally, if you know somebody who has had amputation or who's been in an accident and has had to, relearn how to walk again, or relearn how to talk again, or relearn how to write again, or how to function without, even something as small as their pinky toe, it takes a while to get readjusted. And so you need that time in order to heal. And it's very necessary, and you'll be better off for it having gone through the process. Number 2 is you need to take an account. You need to take an account. Every relationship that we have, and I don't care if it is a work relationship, if it's just a regular friendship, every relationship that we have, is an opportunity for us to identify lessons about ourselves. Now, typically, we usually stop with just the lessons that we learned either physically or emotionally, but every relationship has a spiritual component to it, that there are things that that other person has deposited into us and that we have deposited into them that we need to now take an introspective look into all three areas, into our bodies, into our souls, into our spirits, and to learn and to know exactly what we learned, good and bad, and what we need to do as we proceed moving forward. So you need to take your time. You need to take an account. That's number two. And then the number three things that we need to do is we need to create healthy boundaries. So one of the things that happens with divorce and bad breakups is that they are, how do I want to say this? They are breeding grounds for pimps, for players, for garden tools, for gold diggers, for thoughts. For those, divorce are breeding grounds for people who just want to come in and use you, because people can tell, people can smell that we are in an emotionally unstable place, and so they will come along and take advantage of you. So we have to create healthy boundaries so that we don't just allow anybody into our space, anybody into our life, anybody into a position where they can speak to us, where they can pour out to us. Yeah, I said garden tool. Y'all know I can't say that. Into our space, so that way that we're allowing them in. The problem, because again, you are already in an emotionally unstable place, whether you want to admit it or not. You are already in an emotionally unstable place. And anytime you are in an emotionally unstable place, what happens is your discernment is not right. Your discernment is just not right because you're not stable, and because you're all over the place, and you can't make good decisions. You don't see things normally. You miss out on some things. And when that happens, that opens up an opportunity for people who don't really mean us any good to come in. So have you ever noticed, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. Have you ever noticed how once you get out of a relationship, all of a sudden, how you get in a relationship, all of a sudden all your exes come up and they want girl, it's amazing. I always wanted to be in a relationship with you. I didn't know, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then as soon as that happens, as soon as now you are in a broke up position, some of these same people come back, or all these other people who you never knew existed. Like, where are you all coming from? It is because divorce and bad breakups send off an unnatural aroma where people can literally smell and tell that you are vulnerable, and they will pick up on that vulnerability. So you have to create the proper boundaries, so that way anybody just can't walk in and out of your life. Okay. Number 4, get some professional help. In the African American community, there is still, and we're getting better, y'all. So I want to say we are definitely getting better, but there is a stigma about getting professional counseling, about getting professional help, that needs to stop. Listen, I absolutely love the fact that I'm a minister, that I'm a pastor. I love that. I think it's a great thing. But listen, I say professional help because there are some things that even as a pastor, I can't speak to. And knowing my limitations means that knowing that there's some things that I can't help you with. I can pray for you. I can touch and agree with you. I can talk to you about, certain things, but there comes a place where as a minister, as a pastor, I can't help you. And you need to find somebody who is trained to give you the right tools, to teach you the right thing that will help you get some help. Now, there are some licensed people like Rob, who was on last night, who are pastors and who are trained as counselors, which is even better. However, again, you need to get professional help. Fellas, let me say this to you specifically. Going to a counselor does not make you weak. It makes you smart. Going to a counselor means that it doesn't mean that you are stupid. It doesn't mean that you are dumb. It doesn't mean that you are not strong. What it means is that you have reached a level in your life that you have not learned how to handle in that arena. So let me give you an equivalent. So the equivalent, fellas, would be, I remember and I'm still recovering. About 2 years ago, I tried to bench press 375 pounds. Now, there was a time where I could bench press 375 pounds and it was easy. However, I hadn't done it in a while. And so in the process of trying to do it again, I ripped a muscle in my chest. I literally, you could hear it. You heard I had somebody spotting me. I brought the weight down, and as I tried to lift it back up, you literally heard the muscle in my chest rip. That is literally what happens when we try to function in certain areas. We are in areas where, because we're not strong enough to lift, our relationships rip. We rip holes in our relationships because we simply don't know. It doesn't make you bad. It just means you just don't know. And just like I needed a spotter to help me get that weight up, just like I needed to build back up to that, sometimes we need to build our communication skills. We need to build our emotional IQ. We need to get some understanding about what our woman is saying to us and why she's saying. Ladies, same thing. There are some areas that you need that they can help you. And I can't speak to them because I'm not a woman. I'm not going to try to. But there are some things that you can learn in counseling that will help you be a better wife, a better mother, a better woman, a better business person. And so we have to get past the stigma of saying that we don't need to get professional help. We need professional help. I've made this statement before and people think I'm crazy, but I said I think everybody probably needs to go to counseling, especially if you're African American, because you probably have some form of PTSD and you just don't know it. But that's just my opinion. I really don't know. All right, number five thing you need to do is get some real friends. I ain't talking about them people who just gonna sit there and let you ram on your ex boyfriend or girlfriend, your ex-husband, your ex-wife. Get you some real friends that will tell you, no, brother, the reason your relationship failed is because you cheated and because you're crazy. No, ma'am. The reason your relationship failed is because you didn't know how to treat him. And so that's why you lost your relationship. You need people who will give you that information in a non-judgmental, loving way, and who will not allow you to stay in a place of guilt, of shame, of condemnation, of not being accountable. You need some friends who are really going to do that. But at the same time, they understand you enough and love you enough that if you need a day just to vent, they tell you, I'm going to let you vent today because you seem like you need it, but tomorrow we're going to get back at this. You need people like that in your life. You need some real friends. Real friends do not walk away from you in these types of moments. Real friends will come closer to you and help you and guard you and protect you when you are going through bad breakups and situations. And if you find yourself in a position where you are going through something like this alone, then now you know who your real friends really are. Amen. Amen. Then the number six thing you need to do is you do not need, and this is a difficult one for some of us, is do not become overly critical of yourself or of other people's. As I initially said, this is probably going to be one of the most emotionally raw times that you are going to ever have in your life. And so you cannot be overly critical, overly judgmental of yourself, meaning that you can't start thinking all of the negative voices that are going to be talking to you. There are going to be negative voices that talk to you. If I told y'all some of the things that people said to me and that I said to myself going through divorce, you'd be like, dang, really? Every nasty thing that you can think in every nasty area of your life is going to come at you when you go through a bad breakup or when you go through a divorce. And the worst thing you can do is to believe those negative voices. Listen, the reality is the divorce happened. Whether it's a good thing, whether it's a bad thing, it's a thing. And so now you have to believe and understand that, number one, the plan of God does not change because of this. He is really that smart to know that you were going and I was going to go through a divorce before he created us and you got married. How he knew it, we ain't going to get into that. We're not going to get into a theological debate, but he knew it. And because he knew it, when he said that did and called you to be who you were and created you in his image and in his likeness and called you beautiful and called you handsome and all that good stuff, he already knew. So none of that has changed. Be who you were created to be already. Be a better version of it, but don't believe all that negative crap that comes into your mind because you're going through a divorce. I promise you, listen, when I tell you, I'm going to write a book about this one day. But all of the terrible crap that people said to me and to people I know who have gone through divorce, it's atrocious. Like Rob said last night on the radio, he had people talk to him about not being in ministry anymore. I had people tell me I might as well go and be a public speaker because nobody's ever going to want me to pastor their church anymore. I had people tell me that my life would never be good anymore because of of their perception of what happened. Like, it was some absolutely crazy stuff that happened and that was said to me, and I could have believed it and then decided that that's how I was going to live my life going forward. But you cannot believe that. You cannot allow those words to become what you believe about yourself. Don't become overly critical of yourself, and then don't become overly critical or judgmental of other people. We tend to like to project on others how we feel about ourselves. So we got to also make sure that we're careful not to do that. That was 6. All right, so y'all ready for the bonus, right? If y'all ready for the bonus, number 7, I'm gonna give y'all one more. Y'all ready for number 7? What she said that means the church folks are ridiculous. Church folks can be ridiculous. And really what I learned, let me tell you this, Tiffany, what I learned about that is that it's not, again, just like we have to be careful about how being overly critical of others. People speak from the place of where they are. And so the people who said that to me, I just felt bad for them, actually, because my thinking was, if this is what you really believe, then you truly have never experienced the love of God, period. You've never experienced the love of God if that's what you really think about me. Because if you did, you would never project such stupidity on me. You would understand that his grace is sufficient, that his love endures forever. And oh yeah, by the way, when he called me from the foundations of the earth, he knew that this would happen. And oh, by the way, some of the people who said that to me were pastors. Oh, well. All right, so number 7. Here's the number 7 thing, and I'm going to let you go because I got to go because I'm hungry. Number 7 is increase your worship. Increase your worship. It is probably the most critical thing that you can do is to increase your worship. Here is why I say that. Because you are overly emotional, because you are unstable, because you have gone through this terrible, terrible, hard, difficult time. The biggest thing, the most important thing that you can do is find a place where you can find strength. Find a source that is healthy, that you can find strength. And when I say worship, let me be clear. I'm not talking about a slow song. I'm talking about find a place, increase a place where you can, again, find strength. For me, that was music because I am a worshiper and I am a singer and I am a Christian. For me, that was one of the areas that I draw strength from. But it was also, I spent more time at the gym. I spent more time, again, reading my Bible. I spent more time talking to elders and listening to sound teaching. So for me, that was my form of worship. So you have to increase your worship in those instances, because when you are depleted from your own inside strength, you've got to find something literally that's going to help fill you back up. And worship is a place that does that. Plus, if you are a Christian, we believe that, as the Bible says, that we can find safety and security under and in the presence of God. And so when we do that, when we worship more, what we are doing is we are literally saying, I am empty and I need you to fill me up. I am lost and I need you to put me back on the path that's going to help me get back to the place where I need to be. So for us as Christians, as believers, then increasing worship is a vital part of recovering from divorce. So I hope that helped you. Did it help y'all? Did that help y'all? If I helped y'all, just say it helped you. If it didn't, then just pretend and lie and say that it helped you, so that way I feel better about the rest of my day. Because if it didn't help you, I'm not gonna feel bad. Sorry, it helped me. So all right. But yeah, so that's my 7 things. I didn't get to do this last night. I hope this helped you. I hope this is beneficial for you. I hope, again, that if you know anybody who is going through this, a bad breakup or anything like that, direct them to this video, because I can promise you, you have 2 directions that you can go into after a bad breakup or divorce. You can get bitter or you can get better. Period, point blank. You can get bitter or you can get better. And I can promise you, it is the design to make you better. It is never to make you bitter. It is never It is never, ever to leave you in a position where you are by yourself, where you are alone, and you are never going through this by yourself. There is someone who is close to you who will walk with you through this process. There is someone who is close to you that will say, listen, I understand where you have been, and I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be the person who will support you. There are services out there, again, that will help you, whether it be through divorce care, whether it be through anything that will be able to help you and support you as you grow through this process. Listen, bad breakups and divorce, especially bad breakups, are inevitable. Divorce is not inevitable, but bad breakups at some point is inevitable. Heartbreak is something that we all go through. But guess what? You've got to understand that it is there to make you better. You were born with the destiny. You were born with the purpose. You were born to do something that no one else could do. So do me a favor. Do not abort your mission by allowing the guilt, the shame, the condemnation, the negative self-talk, all of the other things, the peripheral things that try to take you out. Don't allow those things to keep you, but continue to keep moving forward, because I can promise you there is purpose in your pain. There is something that you can do to get better. Oh, now let me go ahead and plug. I'm going to go ahead and plug your book. So if y'all go to, I'm going to plug up, watch this. This is how you get blessed. So if y'all go to, thank you, Rob. If you all go to, y'all see Shanita, go to her page. She actually just wrote a book about this. So go to her, and we had her on our show maybe about a month, 2 months ago. She wrote a good book about it, about recovering from divorce. So y'all go to her page and pick up her book on recovering from divorce. See, look how I did that. Look at God. Again, I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you, again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or inbox me. That's fine. It might take me a little longer to get back to the inboxes because I got stuff to do. But I promise you, I will get back to you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Have a good rest of your day. And don't forget to tune in to the Word on Wednesday tonight with Pastor Burns starting at 7 o'clock on Global Drive Radio. Global Drive Network. There you go. Whew. Bye, y'all. I'm tired and I'm hungry.